Is that what it was?
Hey, chat. I know you can hear me on PopX chat line over there. Are you guys psyched for tonight? Because I'm not seeing any enthusiasm over in the PopX live chat. Come on, guys. We're back.
Just
You are listening to PopXcast, where science fiction meets pop culture.
Here we go!
PopXcast.
I was born in it, molded by it.
PopXcast. No strings on me. Autobots, transform. I'm Batman. By the power of Grayskull. PopXcast.
We're doomed. Goal here at Tyrell. More human than human is our motto.
Here's Johnny.
Never had a pet pony.
Hasta la vista, baby.
PopXcast.
Captain's log supplemental.
Negasonic Teenage. What the
I am the one who knocks.
Excelsior!
Oh my God, bro. Excelsior. Austin, can we just take a moment and just let this sink in?
Oh,
Is this really happening? Are we here right now?
I can't.
First
of all,
dude.
you said let this sink in. I just imagine a giant sink knocking on a door, and you
What?
go open the door, you let him in.
That's
but
really weird. Okay.
my goodness.
Okay. That's really strange of you to even say that. Austin, we missed you. There's Jeremy Stoltz. What's up, Jeremy? You got Darth Baca, Jeremy John Poffenbarger. What's up, John? All the amazing peeps in here. Kelsey Hayes. What's up, Kelsey? How you doing? I see you in there. What's up? It's so good to be back with you guys. Holy cow, dude. It's been a minute, bro. It's been a minute. I feel like we're going to take some time and kind of catch up on things before we deep dive into Deadpool. But guys, it is so good to be back with you. Almost literally coming up 2 months shy of 2 years. We have been that's 22 months. God almighty.
Jeez.
But we are delighted to tell you that as effectively, if you look behind me, I don't know, PopXers, can you see behind me? You see all this? Yours truly is about to build a streaming PC computer. What does that mean for PopXcast? Consistency. We're back, baby.
Yeah, baby.
So
baby.
it is happening, and so yes, this is a thing. We are going to be doing this on a normal. We'll be announcing a schedule very soon. We're hoping to do bi-monthly, at least 2 a month. Try to get back into that swing of things and just talk about. There's a lot of good stuff coming out, Austin. We're kind of coming back at kind of a really nice peak. And I'm kind of glad that the multiverse years are kind of gone, because that was kind of a crappy, in the words of Deadpool, it's a miss and another miss and another miss and another. But dude, we're back. It's so good. Let's just talk for a second. Let's just pause the microphone. Dude, what has happened in your life in the last 22 months? I know you have a lot going on. You have been crowned many things, but now you are being crowned Father. Faja. So tell us all about that, man. Tell us all about the fun.
It is fun. It's fun. It's stressful. It's a pure blessing, right? The first 2 months, that was pretty miserable. Won't lie to you. It was as bad as you can imagine. When people say, man, y'all just have... No. The first couple months, terrible. I would not put that on anyone, right? That being said, after you get over the hump, and after you kind of realize what you're doing, you don't learn fatherhood immediately. I'm still learning as I'm going. But once you start to get into a routine, and once you start to see this little thing, this little ball of flesh and blood turn into an actual human with a personality, that's when it starts to become the miracle that it is. And it is. I'm having a blast right now with Riley. She is all over the place. Full toddler now, just everywhere all the time. We're putting gates up. We're moving things away from the walls. We're trying to trying to get her on a sleep schedule, on a food schedule, but she is amazing, and she's going to daycare. She's learning things there. She's learning sign language. It is truly the coolest thing ever. So that's where I've been. I mean, for the last year, she's a little over a year old now, I've been there. Right before that, we were out of our house for 6 months due to a flood. And I know Joe. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, our house floods literally happen weeks apart from each other.
Time.
That's I remember that. I remember you calling me up and it was like, dude, guess what happened? My garage exploded. Yeah. I'm like, what?
You were giving me advice. You were telling me how to talk to the insurance company and things, because it had just happened to you, which was crazy.
Like literally 2 or 3 months prior, 2 weeks prior to that.
Yeah.
But we'll get to my segment of that very shortly. But how does it feel settling in now? You know, you've got a young daughter, and your family is expanding in all the wonderful, beautiful ways that is just a blessing. How does it feel now knowing that you, as the father, get to introduce your little one to some of these amazing things that you grew up with, whether it be, you know, Batman or Superman or Marvel or whatever it is that she gravitates to? How does that sit with you, man? You get to be the one to kind of plant the seeds, man. You're going to be going to cons with your daughter, bro.
I know.
This is awesome.
It's crazy.
Come on.
Well, we're keeping it in line, right, Joe? Because you're kind of the one that got me introduced to this stuff at a young age, right? And now we're just kind of we're passing it along to the next generation.
I can't approve or deny that.
Yeah, it's true. It absolutely is true.
Okay, it is true. Yeah.
We're giving it hopefully she's a good combination of all of us, right, Joe? She's going to have our unique love for superheroes and comic books, hopefully in some form or fashion. She's going to have Josh's probably weird sensibility for memes, and then hopefully she has a combination, my brother, hopefully a combination of all of our family's love and affinity for, you know, religion and church and God and all of those things. So I'm really excited to see what she actually molds into, but I'm getting her started at a young age, man. We've got Justice League pajamas. We've got Wonder Woman little plush figures. We've got all kinds of things.
We're going to have to introduce some Hulk into there. Somewhere along the line, Big Green has got to make his presence. Because, you know, cousin Joe down in Florida, you know, we got to represent. You know what I'm saying? We got to represent. We got to bring Riley. Got to bring her up. You know what I'm saying? In the ways of the Force. Yes. Yeah. That is so cool, man. And how's the wife? How's Madison?
She's awesome, man. She just recently started a new position at the hospital, a higher position at the hospital. So
nice.
She's doing great. I call her Super Mom because she goes to work, comes home, takes care of the baby. Today she made just the most exquisite loaf of bread from nothing. I'm like, how do you do all of these things? And how do you have time to do all of these things? But she also, you know, still manages to take some time and watch some movies with me. When the baby's in bed, we get our movie watching, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's so cool. Well, definitely give my love to both Riley and Madison. They are a huge part of our lives, and we were hoping to get up in August to be able to see. Then my wife's grandmother passed, and we have got to go to South Carolina in the next week or so. So we're going through it. Dementia, as you know, we lost both of our grandmother Brenda to dementia, and Alex just lost her grandmother to dementia, and it is not tolerates Austin. That's funny, John. That's funny. But so we alluded to it at the opening. So if you let's dial it back, September 22nd, 2020, September 24th, something like that. September 22 was our last broadcast on PopXcast, and literally 2 weeks after that was our anniversary for my wife and I. We were out having this beautiful, delicious 4-course white glove service meal, and we came home and we pulled up into our driveway, and water was streaming down from inside our house, down our driveway, going down the street. Now, Austin, you've been at the house multiple times, you know. Yeah. And we traced it. The source of the water was coming from underneath the wall in the comic man cave. And it was when I realized it was a busted pipe, that it was on the hot water side. And well, the way the houses are built in Florida, the pipes come through the foundation of the house, through the pad, which is the concrete pad. And for some reason, whatever, the pipe, the way the plumber told me, must have been a leak there for some time. And it just, the right amount of pressure, the long time, it just shot straight up through the wall. The water flowed with the pipe because the pipe was its only easy way out. When it came out of the pipe, it came through the wall, and the man cave got inundated with about 4 inches of water. By the time we got home, there was 4 to 5 inches of water throughout an entire home. So everything that was on the ground, everything that was, including my comic collection, everything was completely inundated with water. Now, I had left my computer on. This is why I had to stop PopX for a while. My computer was on because I was doing some work that day on our anniversary. And I had came home, and the first thing I smelled when I opened the door was that burnt silicone electronic smell.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, what is that smell? And I went over, and my computer was off.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, God, this is not good, because my computer sits on the floor. And lo and behold, the water had short-circuited the Ethernet port on my computer. That was the damage that was done. So I had to go and buy a PCI card, with a $20, $30 PCI card. And I had to reinstall, redo the whole Ethernet just to try to have internet on this machine. But luckily, all that's going to go by the wayside, because this machine behind me is going to be built within the next week, and we're going to have a brand new system here for PopXcast. But long story short, it was a nightmare going through insurance claims, all of this stuff. Then Alex got a new job. Alex had a major surgery last year. She had some female complications, and she had to go 8 weeks of just, bed rest, no lifting, no nothing. And so we kind of went through that. And then in that transition of Alex being sick and healing from surgery, she got a brand new job. She's working back in the hospital now. And so, much like Madison, she got a great job with a step up, a great, benefits and all that stuff. So it's been one thing after another. And Lindsay's not here, so I can't really share much about her story. I was hoping she would be able to share a little bit. But Thith, we miss you. I don't know where you are, but you're welcome to hop in if you need to, sis. I don't know where she's at. I have no idea what's going on with Lindsay, but we definitely, wherever, I hope. Usually when I don't hear from Lindsay, is not a good thing. So I'm kind of worried about her right now, because she has been promoting this for 3 weeks on her show. And so, I know Lindsay is very adamant about not wanting to miss these sort of things. And so the fact that I've sent text to her phone, I'm kind of worried about Lindsay at the moment. I'm not going to lie. There's a part of me that's kind of like, okay, where's he at? What's going on? So Lindsay, if you're out there, if you could just text me or chime in the chat, let me know that you're okay. That would mean a lot to me. So that's, I don't know. That's one of the reasons, guys, we were late, because I didn't know she was having some technical difficulties on her end, because we went 10 minutes late, but I was just trying to hold off to see if she would show up, but she never showed up, and then we just kind of had to make, a decision just to go on. So that's what we're doing. We're going on. But, so life updates, everything's going crazy, but, all that said, I have to say, though, it just seems like the right timing right now for PopX to come back. We've got Captain America: Brave New World coming out. We have Venom. We have the Joker: Folie à Deux. There is so much good content coming out this fall, and then the new Alien movie, I think, drops next week. Alien Romulus drops next week. What do you how do you feel about this movie, Austin?
I think the trailer looks fantastic. It's from the director of Don't Breathe, a really good horror director, and apparently they've just fully melded classic practical effects with modern CGI. That's kind of what they're saying about the behind the scenes here, and so lots of confidence for this movie. I'm curious and I'm excited. I think they could nail it. I really do.
I agree with you on that one. I think that Ridley Scott's behind it. He's had a couple hit or misses. Like Napoleon was kind of like, but I'm really optimistic for Gladiator 2. But this has kind of been his baby, kind of re-exploring the alien world with modern visuals and cinematics. So I'm kind of excited for that. Really quick, we probably need to talk about the elephant in the room. Something kind of big happened last night at the San Diego Comic-Con. Guys, if you've been living under a rock for the past 24 hours, it's time to come out and not be a hermit crab anymore. Robert Downey Jr. is playing Victor Von Doom in the upcoming Fantastic Four film. I mean, this is insane. RDJ is playing Victor Doom in the new movie. And I'm going to immediately go to you, Austin. How can somebody who spent his legacy from 2008 to Endgame, how does that sit with you? Because I have been watching the conversations on the internet, been watching the conversations on Twitter. People are losing their freaking minds today.
Yeah.
So what happened? What's going on? Why do the Russo brothers? Oh, by the way, spoiler alert: Russo brothers are directing. They're back. Yeah. After they said Endgame was their last hurrah with Marvel. I'm just they're pulling out all the stops here, bro.
Yeah, dude. I was very conflicted when I first heard this. Granted, that video from Hall H where he reveals himself, takes off the mask, I'm like, and he does the pose, the same Tony Stark pose that he does. I mean, full circle, which is crazy. You know, starts the universe with him, possibly ends the universe with him. We'll see what happens in Secret Wars, but I am nervous about this. I'm nervous because I don't want this to, if it doesn't go well, and I'm optimistic about it, so I hope it goes well. But if it doesn't go well, will it hurt the legacy of Robert Downey? Will it
and Tony Stark
and Tony Stark specifically? Right? Will that impact? Yeah, and that's where my fear comes in. And I've been saying this, so I agree with the negativity. People are saying this is a desperate move from Marvel because it is, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to sit here and blame them for that because what happened with Jonathan Majors. They were desperate for anything positive at that point because he ruined that entire plan that they had for Kang. Kang is no more. Kang is over.
Yeah.
He's over.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of glad.
Me too.
I really wasn't a fan of the Kang. I think Victor Doom should have been introduced 4 years ago.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Immediately
and it's crazy because...
Yeah, I was just going to say, immediately following Endgame, they should have already been setting up Victor Doom ahead of the Fantastic Four arrival. But I know
I always thought they would go. Did you see, Joe? I sent you and I know you saw it. So I sent you the video of the Fantastic Four that came from Comic-Con.
Yes.
We did watch that. Maybe we can hit on that a little bit. But did you see that little Galactus tease at the main end of the video?
With the looking in the window. Yeah. Yes, I did. And the score. I wish we could play it, but this stream would be banned so fast.
Oh, so hard.
It would be banned so quickly, even if it was remotely caught. But somewhere out there floating is a Fantastic Four trailer. A teaser.
Yeah.
There is an actual teaser that is already produced.
Leaked.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
And you probably, the public will not see that outside of San Diego Comic-Con probably for months from now. You know?
Yes. And so that's where when I saw Galactus in that little tease, that's where my head's been at for years. I'm like, why didn't we go Galactus and Doctor Doom instead of Kang? Why didn't we do that? Now, Joe, they're getting an opportunity to kind of right the wrongs of what they've been up to.
My impression over the past post Endgame. Let's go post Endgame. The multiverse movies felt rushed. Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, Quantumania. They just felt they felt like they were separate entities of the multiverse trying to remain in the multiverse, but not truly. I mean, even Spider-Man No Way Home, you can call that a multiverse, but it was, if it's truly multiverse, you're going to have Hulk romping around with Spider-Man. You're going to have Thor.
Yes.
You're going to have... It was really a Spider-Man-focused multiverse. You see what I'm saying? And so...
Yeah, it was grounded. Very grounded.
Yeah, it was. It was grounded in the source material. It's not a bad thing, trust me. I mean, No Way Home, for me, is way up there on the list in terms of my overall. But I want to say this really quickly. I had shared this with Austin last night. I went to the collective archive. Now, if you guys want to have an idea, where the Russos and the script's going, go back to 2015, 2016. If you can find the graphic novel on Prime or somewhere at your local comic book shop, go to Secret Wars, right? Secret Wars, and I don't know if this is reversed on your all's end because I'm doing a screenshot from inside of the. It probably is. It's probably flipped, but that's okay. You get the idea. But this is Secret Wars number 9. This is a 9-part series, and basically I will show you the cover that really speaks volumes. Is when Doom becomes God Doom. And why does this tie into Robert Downey Jr.? Why am I bringing this up right now? This is Victor Doom basically becoming God Doom. Now, why is this important? Why am I bringing this up? Why is this series here? This is the series where Dr. Doom, Tony Stark is incapacitated. Iron Man and an intelligent mind is needed, like a mind of Stark, and the only one available, because Reed Richards is in another realm in this storyline. They got to go find Reed in this. And Victor Doom assumes the role of Iron Man Tony Stark to help the Avengers.
Ooh. Man.
So there is some depth here. There is some stuff here that I believe you're going to see snippets of this filter in to Secret Wars. Doom, it's guys, seriously, in Deadpool, the first scene you see in the void is the comic book in the dirt, Secret Wars, which was this cover. This cover.
Wow.
This cover. Okay?
Wow.
So, fast forward, why is Deadpool teasing Secret War? Well, Doomsday is going to be a post-Fantastic Four film. Okay? Mm-hmm. So, Fantastic Four takes place in a 60s futuristic technological society, which is an alternate universe of Earth 616, quote-unquote, the sacred timeline. Victor Doom is going to be introduced, and we're probably going to get an alternate Doom or something like that at some point. It would be cool if RDJ starts out good, then becomes bad. That would be kind of cool. I'd like to see RDJ do a villain role, which I think he probably will go towards. But at the same time, I do believe also there's going to be a vast chunk of this storyline that's going to be used because what's the next Avengers film? Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Wow, isn't that convenient? So here you go. That's this. And so if you guys don't have this collection, you don't have this volume, do go get it. But there is something I wanted to read. And this is why you guys come to PopX, because this is where we really get crazy and nerdy. And trust me, we're getting ready to hit right on that topic of Deadpool and Wolverine here in just a second. But I was telling Austin last night, I was trying to show him a couple of things. I had to break out the Marvel Encyclopedia.
Yes.
Yeah, all right, so let's do that right quick. Let me go to Doom. So we're at B, D. All right, so Dr. Doom. All right, so I'm going to just show you what I'm reading from. You guys can get a visual. Here we go. Dr. Doom, right? There's his write-up. Now let me read this to you. This is very interesting, very peculiar. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to read 2 sentences. It says, when Reed Richards, who survived the destruction of his reality, appeared on Battleworld, Doom's control began to slip until he was defeated. When Reed recently recreated reality with his family and Molecule Man, he healed Doom's scarred face, giving him the chance of a new life. For a time, Doom acted as a hero, even becoming, quote-unquote, Iron Man when Tony Stark was incapacitated. However, when Doom was scarred again while fighting the Hood, he retreated to his castle. So, there is a story to be told there. Starting out good, ended up bad. And then I just wanted to show this one just for context and clarity. Iron Man versus Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw that one out there for you just because I had it. But, all right. Are you ready to talk all things? I don't know if they're ready, bro. I don't know.
I don't think they are.
Should we just go ahead and end the stream right now and just kind of call it? I mean,
over, dude.
Could you imagine if I did that? I mean, these people would revolt in such a way that would be like, how the hell dare you do that? All right, guys, we're going to roll the spoiler alert warning. And if I can find, okay, there it is. If you've not seen Deadpool and Wolverine at this point, I highly encourage you to hit that pause button and come back when you've seen it, because we're going to be unpacking every aspect of the film. Here we go. We'll be right back.
Danger. You are about to enter a PopX spoiler alert. Beyond this point, there is no return. You have been warned.
You have been warned. And ladies and gentlemen, Deadpool and Wolverine just hit the cinema on Thursday. Austin, you got to see a preview. Was it Tuesday night or Monday night?
Yeah, it was Monday night, really late. Usually our screenings are at 7. This one was at 8:30, and I drove all the way to Columbus, so I got home at 4 a.m. That was not
Columbus,
fun.
oh my God. Dude.
Not fun, man.
Well, you know what we've not done yet?
Austin,
kick us off, big guy.
Oh, this is... I have nostalgia for this.
You ready?
Hey, guys. Welcome to PopX, where science fiction meets pop culture. I'm Austin Burke, certified film critic and YouTuber extraordinaire. We'd like to welcome everyone to join us live in the PopX.live chat room. Come hang out with us and join the conversation at PopXcast.com. If this is your first time watching PopX, we're going to play catch-up for a bit, like we already did, because of how long it's been. And then we've already hit that spoiler warning. So if you all haven't seen the movie, this is your only warning. Go see it, or just be spoiled, whatever
That's
you
it.
want.
And I'm Joseph Burke, Central Florida's seasoned comic book nerd and retro enthusiast and founder of PopXcast. And so I want to encourage you guys to join me. I was talking to Darth Baca over in the chat. He's like, "I've missed you. Where have you been?" I'm like, "Dude, I stream twice a week on Twitch. Like this whole time for the past 3 years, I've been on Twitch, like literally 2 or 3 times a week. So if you guys don't know, it's twitch.tv/Joseph Burke Arts. That's where you can find me. And I will be actually streaming. I was supposed to stream tonight, but PopX kind of takes precedence over that. But make sure you join us right there. We're part of an awesome creative collective. My buddy Jeremy Stoltz is in. Alexa, stop. She's just excited. She's excited as I am.
It's going crazy,
She's
bro.
going crazy. But Jeremy Stoltz and myself and Lindsay Badger, we're all part of a creative collective called the Creative Multiverse. And it is a collective expanse of artists from all across the globe. And we all come in together. We share our arts. We share our stuff. And we're all connected through the Creative Multiverse Discord. So if you're not part of that Discord, let me know, and I'll pop that link over in the chat for you guys so you guys can join here in just a second. And if you missed the last episode 2 years ago, oh, God bless, which was episode 145, Cobra Kai and Teen Wolf on the Retro Rewind, make sure you go to popxcast.com for all this and the collective archive of PopX's shows that we've had. So there we go. We are ready to go. PopX spoiler's been run. We're ready to go. Oh, my God. Deadpool and Wolverine. Let's just talk about all the Wolverine cameos, shall we?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. So...
Come on.
Let me get something straight. This is something that I didn't catch on the first viewing. I saw it twice. I saw it on Thursday and Saturday. On the first viewing, Wade Wilson's love interest, I didn't catch why was there such a weird vibe between, because we ended part 2, and at the end of part 2, he went back and he saved her, right?
Yes.
And then, but why is there she's talking about a boyfriend and she's talking about all this? I didn't understand that part.
So there was one moment a little later on in the movie where it's a very brief conversation.
It is
very brief, but essentially it's he can't tell her that, and I don't remember exactly what she was asking of him. He can't tell her that he's ready to move on since he got denied by the Avengers because he held on to that. And I think they're implying that was the moment where Vanessa kind of said, "Well, if you're not ready to move on, if you're going to sit and sulk like this, I'm
not ready."
On.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I
can't
didn't.
commit.
It was so quick, and I tried to figure it out
Very
on the
quick.
second viewing. I'm like, these two are like madly in love in both of the prequels. And it was such a weird vibe at the beginning, but I just wanted to get that out of the way right quick. But so, listen to this, guys. The cameos of Wolverines. Oh, God.
Dude.
So, I think the first one was the midget. The dwarf Wolverine, the little Wolverine, which was Should we call him the short Wolverine variant? Can we call him that?
Yeah.
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 Well, now, if you guys didn't know, why was he that size? That is actually his comic book size in the books. He's a very small, stocky stature kind of a superhero. He's kind of like a Wolverine, and I just thought that was kind of cool. Then we go in. Go ahead.
I was going to say it's phenomenal too because people have always given Hugh Jackman over the years flack for being
too tall. Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, who cares? And now they're seeing like, oh, maybe it's good. He was tall.
Yeah, it's probably
kind of
awkward. Yeah. I mean, that would definitely make that Hulk battle a little weird for sure. There was also Patch. Now, there was a lot of speculation online that Patch was going to be Daniel Radcliffe. I don't know if you guys saw that little rumor mill that started with Patch, that it was Daniel Radcliffe and that he was spotted on the set of Deadpool and Wolverine in Atlanta, blah blah blah, and but it wasn't. It was Jackman. And then let's see, what else? I don't want to save the best one for last, but then there was the Hulk versus Wolverine, which is a tie into John Byrne. Todd McFarlane actually illustrated that book. The famous comic book cover where you see Wolverine in his claws and Hulk's in the reflection of the claws. Very famous cover, and we got to see. I want to see that movie. I'd love to see Hugh Jackman and Mark Ruffalo go at it. That would be insane. And then we had the Age of Apocalypse Wolverine, which was the Wolverine with the black suit and the red trim. Had the kind of fluffy looking hair. That was an interesting Wolverine. Yeah. And then we had the Fever Dream Wolverine. That's where he was nailed to a yellow cross with a sea of skulls behind it. That was from the Fever Dream storyline. I believe that was in 97, 98, something like that. Don't quote me on that because it all runs together when you talk about all these origins of these characters, and there are so many versions of Wolverine out there. Let's see, whichever one. Well, we might as well go ahead and talk about this one. Get this one right out of the gate. Calverine. Henry Calverine.
Come on.
I mean, when I saw the bicep, I'm like, that has to be either that's Chris Hemsworth or somebody. I did not expect someone who has been devoted to DC Comics jump ship. Now, my question is, do you feel that Calverine will come back and play Wolverine again, or is that just a one-off?
I want to say this sets the stage because look, I enjoy a good fan casting every now and then, but I don't love when studios kind of indulge in that or that aside, this is different. This is the moment I saw that man's bicep and I saw Henry turn around with that perfection of a Wolverine look. I'm like, that's Wolverine. I don't care if he was a fan cast. I don't care if this is the only time we'll ever see him. That was Wolverine. And you know when Henry Cavill does this in Mission Impossible?
Oh, yeah, he did the same thing.
That, but with claws.
It was amazing, bro.
Dude,
it was amazing.
So cool.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
And that was definitely an homage to his Mission Impossible fight scene, too. That was definitely
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The second I saw it, I'm like, oh, that's he's doing that for Mission Impossible. But I love that they're not doing that at DC anymore. He's no longer Superman. And Cavill said, you know what, Ryan, I will indulge and I will do this. And now there's that seed that is planted. If Marvel, and I don't think they're going to do it anytime soon, because I do think Hugh Jackman will be in Secret Wars, but if they ever want to recast, that seed's been planted, I think that's where they go. I really do.
I was very happy with seeing the arms, the frickin' arms, bro.
Oh, that massive. My Lord.
That was insane.
Bigger than my thigh.
I mean, I felt it in my loins.
I felt it in my loins.
They were tingling. I'm like, man, this is
entire
awesome.
time.
Let's see, did we get all the versions of Wolverine? Well, you had the version of Wolverine that killed everyone. Now, I don't know if you know this, but that scene when he goes... We'll get to that in a minute, but there's a character in the movie, and she goes into his mind, and he's looking, and there's this roll of tombstones. It looks like but those are actually, that's inspired from a scene in the comic when she got into Wolverine's head, and Wolverine killed everyone in the X-Men universe. And this is that Wolverine that Deadpool goes and gets. Because the scene that he sees is the row of tombstones. Now, in the comic book, the names of the heroes were on those tombstones. So you had like Cyclops, Scott, you know, and then you had, you know, Charles Xavier. You had all of them. And really interesting scene with all of that. Yeah, here's the fever dream from X-Men 251. They did that. They did for the movie. That's exactly right, John. Yep, John is on it, man. I think John needs to be a co-host here. I'm telling you.
John's
I mean,
a beast.
I think
He's a beast,
dude. He's on his stuff, man. But I think for me, it was just really cool to kind of see all these little nods to these things that I read as a kid. Like I'm actually seeing these versions of Wolverine come to fruition and come out, and it's just like, wow, there's a lot here. And so, but long story short, I think for me, it was cool to see Deadpool get the one Wolverine that nobody in the multiverse wanted. And it goes on to say, Paradox goes on to say, you've got the worst of the Wolverines, the one that nobody wants, the one that killed his entire team. And it was just really like, holy cow, that was so deep. And then, but at the end of the movie, Deadpool saves that Wolverine, his heart. And he's not drawn in with himself. He has purpose. Now, this Wolverine has found his purpose. And hopefully, you, Jackman, will come back and reprise that role. I hope what you said about Secret Wars and him being in that, I hope that's true, because I don't think you can have a Secret Wars storyline without Wolverine, because Wolverine plays such a huge part, as does Magneto. Magneto, Mr. Sinister, there's so many characters that play in that. I know very little about the actual comics. Well, you know enough, Mr. Poffenbarger. You know enough. You know, until he's 90, that's exactly right. So let's talk about some of the cameos. Let's just go through them one at a time. Chris Evans. I love how they set it up at the beginning when Wade Wilson is in the TVA and he's seeing on the screen, he goes, Cap. You know, and he does this thing. You know, he does that. But it's setting the tone, because when we actually see Chris Evans and you see the red, blue, you think it's Cap. It's such a beautiful misdirection. And then when he goes, don't make me do this, flame on. Dude, I'm going to be honest with you. My theater here in Orlando on Thursday night blew up when it was Johnny Storm, bro. It was insane, and there was people that were standing up, jumping up and down, and cheering because it was such an awesome cameo. Man. Dude, did you get any reactions at all in your theaters when that happened?
No, a bunch of snobby critics. In my theater. There were probably 12 people in my theater, because surprisingly, I thought more people would show up to this screening.
Really?
Because, I thought critics would be more excited about it. There were only like 12 of us that showed up, and I think they said there were 40 that were invited. So, very strange. That being said, there was a little bit of a reaction. I was in a row with my brother and Mr. Flickinger, John the Flick Pick. We all did a little bit of this and a little bit of like, oh my God. And that was the moment, Joe, when that happened. I expected Deadpool with MCU characters. That happened, and I said, oh, this is a love letter to Fox.
It is.
This whole movie is going to be a love, and that's what it ends up being. And it starts with Chris Evans reprising that specific role that we know him for, and it gives him a chance to kind of flex his comedic chops, because he doesn't do that as much as Captain America. So I loved seeing that, and I loved coming back to him in the post-credits.
R-rated, unhinged version of Chris Evans' Storm. Johnny Storm.
Yes.
So that was really cool to see, and it just definitely it was kind of a nice tease to the Fantastic Four, because the Fantastic Car, did you see that? Was in the movie as well.
Rolling down.
Dude, they were in the little square hover vehicle that the Fantastic Four drive around in. That was pretty awesome.
That was awesome.
But I think, honestly, you were getting back to that homage of Fox and paying tribute and homage. Dude, I'm going to be honest with you. This was not only an homage to Fox and the legacy that Fox built with the X-Men franchise, it was also a legacy to Hugh Jackman as
Yes.
Wolverine, because
100%.
there was so much heart. It was not like it was something that was hidden, but there was so much heart in this movie towards the role of Hugh Jackman. There was this, I don't know how to say it, there was this patronage, there was this legacy, and they handled it so beautifully that, you know, Hugh Jackman didn't have to come back, go back into the gym for 8 months, get ripped again, do this whole thing. He's in his late 50s now or something like that. And, you know, Ryan Reynolds is like, what, 47 now?
Uh-huh.
And so the fact he's doing it at his age and committed and wanted, I mean, I think he just did it for the fans, to be honest with you, because
He did.
and they paid so much. There was so much heart towards Hugh Jackman's character, and it also it's kind of a deep dive on a character origin story, because we get this bad Wolverine, who at the end of the movie becomes a good Wolverine because of his good deeds that he saved the Earth 616 sacred timeline, and I just so much heart, bro, so much heart. It was that, were they on the 616 or were they on another one? The whole
throughout
bus scene. The whole bus scene, that was
Yeah.
616?
It
wasn't implied, was it?
I don't think it was ever officially stated, but I want to say that specific bus scene was on Deadpool's world, because I think it was on the world that was going to be destroyed, and that was Deadpool's world, which is, I don't know the exact number, but that was the Fox
He used
world.
Cable's time shifter to go into a reality to find Vanessa, where Vanessa was alive, right? To bring her back. So I think this is, you're right. So this is kind of like an alternate, not a 616, but this is Deadpool's world. Amazing. Again, you know, Chris Evans being Human Torch, Johnny Storm, that was just absolutely fantastic. What were some other ones that you liked there, big guy?
Well, when we first get introduced to the characters in the Void, I just like seeing all the little characters in the background. First of all, Pyro. It was really nice to see him from X-Men. He went a little stir crazy being in the Void for a while, but he's a little crazy. But Juggernaut is there. Azazel is there. It's funny seeing Juggernaut there too, because that actor, he was like, I'm never playing that character again. Obviously came back and played him again. Really cool. And just all those little villains planted in the background. Toad is in one of those cars.
It was actually Ray Park.
Yeah, wrapping his tongue around. I mean, that was really cool. So they did a nice job, not even getting into the big guns yet, but they did a nice job of planting those little seeds. Now, maybe a part of me wanted to see First Class represented a little more, like the Michael Fassbender, James McAvoy X-Men.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Azazel's there, but that's really about it, right? I wanted to see them represented, but still, you know, giving us some visual representation of every, team movie that we've seen in that Foxverse is really cool, and I love that they did that.
You also had Lady Deathstrike, which was the one with the claws. You know, remember her?
You're right.
Psylocke. Psylocke from X-Men Apocalypse. And that, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was the same actress that played her in Apocalypse, played her there as well.
Probably. I would say so.
The big dude with the red striped shirt, that's the Russian. He's
okay.
Yeah, that's the Russian. Yeah. And then we had Sabretooth, which was Tyler. Tyler came back to reprise that role as Sabretooth. Unfortunately, he didn't really live that long. God bless his heart. No. We also had Callisto. Callisto is from Days of Future Past, I believe. And we're kind of going to get into some of the bigger ones. We also had, we're just going to talk about it. So Wolverine and Deadpool join alliances after multiple bouts in the Void, fighting each other. And are basically, was it Cassandra Xavier? Is that her name? Cassandra?
Nova.
Cassandra Nova. Cassandra Nova Xavier. That's her name.
Yes.
Captures, we go in, and it's this giant Goliath skeleton of Paul Rudd's Ant-Man, which is, we've seen that from a trailer, so that wasn't nothing that we hadn't seen before. But we're taken in, and they escape from this. I'm not going to give too much in. I'm going to kind of just touch base on it. But the way that Wolverine and Deadpool escape this massive battle is on the foot of a Sentinel. Did you pick up on that? That was a Sentinel's rocket foot. Amazing.
Straight out of Days of Future Past.
Straight out of Days of Future Past. And cool enough, they find themselves into this cave. They wake up, and we find that it was X-23 that had it was Daphne Keene came and got them and rescued them from that area where they were on the Sentinel foot. They went up in the air. They came back down. They both passed out. X-23 came and got them and took them to this cave.
Yeah.
They go in the cave, and then all of a sudden, this is where the theater in Orlando began to literally erupt. I'm pretty sure that there were some foundation structural cracks because people were losing their freaking minds. I'm talking none other than Jennifer Garner coming back. Dude, Jennifer Garner looked so good as Elektra.
So it's awesome. Oh my God.
I was like, does this girl even age? Dang. You know, it was amazing. And she kicked some butt, dude.
Yeah.
Girl kicked some butt.
The suit looked, to me, that's the best the suit's ever looked on her in this movie.
Well,
I think it's the best the suit's ever looked. Like, it looks so comic booky, man. It was so cool.
To be honest, they kind of had a little bit of a better budget on this one than they did.
Yeah.
I'm just
so
gonna
much.
Throw that out there.
Yeah.
We won't talk about Daredevil. He died a long time ago. But but it was really cool to see Jennifer Garner, and then right after that, Wesley Snipes, dude. We haven't seen Wesley Snipes on any movie in probably, 15, 18 years?
Yeah.
Mind you, Ryan Reynolds was in the Blade series. Did you know that?
And they hated each other.
They did.
Wesley Snipes and Ryan Reynolds. There is that behind-the-scenes story that I was reading where I think Wesley wouldn't even look at Reynolds. He wouldn't even acknowledge his existence. Yeah. And so the fact that they were able, I mean, this is such a cool story, to bury the hatchet for the greater good of the fans, to bring Blade back once more, and then share a hug at Hall H and Comic-Con. Dude, that if anything else, that made this movie worth it. If anything else.
I could not agree more. I think for me, when Wesley Snipes came out, I immediately wanted to go back and watch all the Blade trilogy, but at the same time,
dude, yes.
I knew the story, the bitterness between those two. And I'm like, holy cow, did not see that coming. But he said something, and I'm the only Blade. And so it was really cool because if you've been kind of following some of the Phase 5 announcements, Blade is actually coming in the MCU. Whether it be, I don't know if he's getting his own film or a mini-series or whatever, but I do think that the mantle of Blade is going to be passed from Snipes to, who do they get to cast us? Mahershala Ali, yep. So that's going to be a great... the fact he's in it is just setting up things to come. And then let's talk Channing Tatum. Channing Tatum as Gambit. He's like, who is your vocal coach, man? Dude, yeah, I don't know. Really old, man.
It was. You know what though? I'll say this, Joe. It was so bad at the beginning because they're playing on. A lot of people said Channing Tatum couldn't nail the accent, and that was the story. They're playing on that in this movie. But the more Gambit was on screen, Josh and I looked at each other and we're like, no, he's actually awesome.
Dude, he kicked
this
butt.
is really... He kicked so much butt in this movie, dude.
The outfit, dude. The outfit.
Amazing.
That glowing purple
Perfection.
chest plate with those silver aluminum, feet, boots.
My Lord.
Wow.
Amazing.
And let's just when he took the deck of cards and he opened, I was like, holy shit.
Bro.
Dude.
Geeking so hard. And I'll tell you this, Joe, and I think my on my Movie Mode podcast, my guy Ryan, I think he may have mentioned this, but Gambit has been lately a beloved character because of X-Men 97, which is appealing to a younger audience. So, in my head, I'm like, well, an 8 and 9-year-old, they're not really going to know who Gambit is. But then I'm like, oh, wait, they may have watched X-Men 97. So they may kind of have an attachment to Gambit right now.
Because
not even knowing the Channing Tatum story, but seeing a Gambit on screen after seeing X-Men 97. Dude, like, this was the absolute
good setup.
Perfect. It was the perfect setup
it was a good
from
setup.
X-Men 97.
I agree.
Yes,
yeah.
100%.
It was really well thought out. And I was reading an article. Channing Tatum was supposed to be cast as Gambit originally back in one of the original X-Men movies. I believe it was X-Men Origins.
Years ago.
It was a long time ago. I think it was the same one Ryan Reynolds was with his mouth shut up. But it was interesting. And like you said, the reason he wasn't cast is because he couldn't nail that Louisiana Bayou accent. He couldn't get it down. But, man, did they prove everyone wrong with this one? I want to see more of Channing Tatum's Gambit. And the one thing I loved about it, when the big battle scene of all of these heroes that we just mentioned, Blade, Elektra, Gambit, X-23, when they all battle, none of them die. You just kind of see, what is it, Eliath? You see him, he's coming in, and they're just kind of looking up, and then the heroes go into the Tony Stark Time Ripper portal, and but they don't die. That's so hopeful because we may see them down the road at some point. I mean, I have no problem seeing Jennifer Garner come back as Elektra. That would be great, personally. But hey,
do you want to hear my theory?
I'd love to hear your theory. I love theories. I love you, by the way.
I believe you're a theory master as well, but here's where I'm going with this. I believe Secret Wars is not only going to bring in Deadpool and Wolverine. I believe Secret Wars is going to bring in everyone. And I mean all of the former X-Men, all of the characters we saw in this movie, all of the Spider-Men, and maybe even more. And I'm talking early 2000s Hulk. I'm talking a Nick Cage Ghost Rider cameo.
Now, we need to see a Lou Ferrigno Hulk. That's what we need.
Oh, Lou Ferrigno. Bro, Secret Wars is going to be the most ambitious blockbuster of all time. And I genuinely believe the Russos want to one-up themselves from Endgame. Do you remember that big scene at the end of Endgame when everyone shows up? They are going to attempt to top that, Joe.
Yeah.
They're going to attempt.
And, we have Venom wrapping up the final of that trilogy is going to be this October. Venom is now in the MCU. The symbiote is running wild. Yep. I believe Parker's going to get the suit, and he's going to get the black suit. It's coming, bro. It's coming. We're going to see that famous cover of Spidey in the black suit. That's going to, oh my God.
Bro.
I hope that the version of Venom that we get, I hope it's another Eddie Brock. Like an Eddie Brock. I would love it to be Tom Hardy because I think the chemistry between Tom Hardy and Tom Holland would be fan-freaking-tastic.
So cool.
But I think Tom is just like he's done with the role. Specifically, but I'll be interested to see how Venom 3 stacks up. But anyway, we're getting off topic. Let's talk about some of the Deadpools themselves. We have Blake Lively as Lady Pool. Yeah. There was a lot of speculation that was going to actually be Taylor Swift, which it wasn't.
Taylor Swift?
Yeah, but it's not. It was Blake Lively. Now, I didn't pick up on this one until I read the credits, but Cowboy Deadpool was voiced by none other than Matthew McConaughey.
Was it? I knew it sounded like him. I didn't know if it actually was because I didn't.
Yeah.
Dang,
it was Cowboy Deadpool. And Nathan Fillion was Headpool.
Dude.
Did you pick up on that?
See, I should have paid. We were talking during the credits because we knew there was going to be
credits, bro.
Bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then, of course, Nice Pool. Dog Pool.
The scene where Nice Pool gets shot, man, I was dying. It was so funny. It was so funny, dude. He's like, I don't heal.
I don't heal, and blood just coming out of his mouth, and the way he was like shaking, as he's picking him up, carrying him along,
and he's smiling the whole time. He's like,
But then, did you see the scene where he gets beheaded, his head explodes, and then Deadpool's trying to do CPR, and the blood is gushing out of?
He's like, we can save you. I know we can. He goes, he's dead.
Logan's like, he's dead, bub. Oh my God, dude! The one-liners that they put in this, I'm surprised that Marvel and Disney allowed 20% of these. It was just insane.
I can't believe it.
And
Joe, do you know what? Really pisses me off?
I love open-ended questions.
Yes.
Dandelions and crabgrass. Why?
That does piss me off.
I just mowed the lawn, and I wake up the next morning, and my whole yard's got these little
filled with them, full of them. It's
Why?
ridiculous. What? Do you know what else pisses me off?
What?
I have been seeing some hate for this movie. Now, granted, the story is a little all over the place at times. They're trying to fit a lot in. But one complaint that I just can't fathom is the complaint that we don't get a payoff, whether it be an emotional payoff or a payoff in general for the character of Wolverine. I can't fathom that. And here's why. The scene where all of the Deadpools show up is the scene where we get the mask reveal. I'm waiting the whole movie for it.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for it. The sleeves get ripped off, and you get full Berserker Wolverine in that moment. And did you notice that when they're fighting all of them at once, the camera's moving like a video game? John and I both felt like that was an homage to the classic X-Men video game, the side-scroller, where it's... Right?
I
Right?
did not pick up on that. Oh, my
Right?
God.
That full side-scroll one take, I believe, was an homage to the classic video game. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I want to see that scene again. Holy hell. You know, it's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny. Alex loved it so much, my wife.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, can we go Friday and see it again when I get off work?
Dude, yes. Yes.
So for my
That's
wife,
what you want to hear.
my wife said, I freaking love this movie. And it takes a lot. The last movie that she liked from Marvel was Infinity War and Endgame. Was not a fan of Doctor Strange, Multiverse, and was not a fan. No Way Home was the only one that she truly loved because she grew up with Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst. You know, those movies.
Sure.
But, dude, I need to see that bus scene again. That is so awesome. The video game bus scene.
The payoff of the bus scene is when Wolverine jumps out of the back of the bus and he's doing that full Wolverine pose, man.
Oh, God.
And so
I
for
want a
people
wallpaper
to
of that.
say, bro, that's one of the, I believe that is a top 5 Marvel shot ever of them two jumping out.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, Joe did
In
marry
history.
up, John.
Yes. Joe married up.
Bet your butt I
As
did.
did Austin. Thank God, man. But I just can't, man. I can't fathom people saying there was no payoff with that because the mask reveal was amazing. I know we had to wait. But then just the emotions that we get from Logan, and to not say that there is not satisfaction coming from Logan wanting to sacrifice himself at the end of that movie, and then Deadpool saying, actually, I'm going to do it, and then both of them doing it together?
Yeah,
Are
dude.
you kidding me, man? I felt that, and I loved that.
I did too. I agree with you 1,000%. And it's really interesting. You were talking about the payoff for you, Jackman. Do you know that Ryan Reynolds, before production began, visited Madonna and her team? Now, Ryan Reynolds, this is somewhere on YouTube. You can find this. There's an interview he did. Visited Madonna to ask if they can use Like a Prayer in this movie.
Wow. Okay.
Now, here, you ready for this setup? Madonna said yes, but under one stipulation, and gave Ryan Reynolds some input. She said, when this is concerning the conclusion, the scene when they both take the parallel opposites of the Time Ripper that they were building, you know, the blue and the orange, and they had to complete the circuit to explode the Time Ripper.
Yes.
She said, when that scene happens, do it in a chorus film orchestra style. So that input was not the production team. That came from Madonna herself. Said if you use the song, it would be epic in the climactic moment that you do a full-on symphony revised version of the song. And Ryan Reynolds said, you know what, we'll do it. And not only did they do it, it became one of the most epic finales. It was just amazing. And, you know, Hugh Jackman, can we just give it up for his abs?
My brother. I was like, I got to go work out after this.
Yeah. It was insane. But
Sexy.
there was very much so, actually. I kind of liked that.
Yeah.
And what was that one character from the TVA that just kind of kept looking at Hugh Jackman and Deadpool?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name right off the top of my head, but oh my gosh, that was so funny. All those little moments. Let's talk really quick about. So we had we talked about the big cameos and nice pull. Let's talk about Happy Hogan for a minute. There's this scene where Wade Wilson goes into the Avengers campus, if you will. And it's like, I want to be an Avenger. And there's this whole funny dialogue that exchanges. But you got to pay close attention to the things in the background. There was a fake Time magazine with pepper pots. Did you see the little mini Stark Expo helmet in the background?
Yes.
From the very first Stark Expo? That's the one that the kid wore That's the little kid helmet. Then you had the prototype Captain America shield. And we saw that last in, I think, Age of Ultron or something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Phase 2.
And then Tony Stark's movement desktop gyroscope thing. Yep.
The little thingy. Yeah.
That was in there. There was so many cool little things, nods, just in that office to the legacy. Oh, you had the War Machine silver mask sitting on a mantle in the background. There was, I mean, seriously, there was so much stuff in the film as a whole, not just in Happy Hogan's office. It was just, you need a second or third viewing just to catch it all. That's why I can't wait till this comes out on digital release so I can hit pause and just kind of analyze the scenes. Because I'll be honest with you, man, I took it all in, but I missed a lot.
Me too.
I missed a lot, and I'm sure that you guys feel the same way too. And so, how did you feel the exchange with Happy Hogan went? I thought that was kind of funny.
I thought it was awesome. That's another part of the movie where I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it is going to be an MCU film, and that's really the only time we spend with an MCU character.
Yeah.
But it's like the perfect character to do that because we don't want to go too big with that because we're going to go big with the Fox characters. But it's a nice little entryway, and I believe Favreau just having a firm grasp on where this universe is right now because he's in a couple of producing roles. He knew exactly how to play it, and it was perfection. It's also funny, Joe, because Favreau was in the Fox universe in Daredevil, and so to see him talk to him in the MCU
Yes, he
when he's out
was.
there in the Foxverse is hilarious to me.
Yes, he was. That's actually really funny you said that. He wasn't. He was Foggy, wasn't he? Foggy Nelson.
He's Foggy.
He was Foggy. Yeah. So again, let's remember Hunter B-15 from Loki. Mm-hmm. She's in it. She gets a nice little cameo and then falls in love, unbeknownst to anybody that was watching. That was kind of funny. Let's see. I feel like I'm missing so much here. The Tony Stark reactor was in Happy Hogan's office as well. Yeah. In proof that Tony Stark has a heart. Let's see. Oh, did you see the Milano in the Void? The Guardians of the Galaxy
no, I missed
ship?
that.
Yeah, the
I
big
missed
orange
that.
ship. Yeah, the orange ship. I believe that's the same. Isn't that the same vessel that Tony Stark was in when he gave his goodbye to Pepper Potts speech? Yeah. So the Milano is in the Void. And if you look in the background, you can see, well, the Sentinel's foot was part of it, but then you could see the Asgard castle. Did you see that? Okay.
You're right.
Yeah. And then you've got Tony Stark's hot rod is the hot rod that Pyro's driving around.
Saw that.
And you couldn't miss this one unless, I mean, you're just totally, you have poor vision. The 20th Century Fox logo in ruin. And we saw that from a lot of the teaser images on that fight scene that was filmed about a year ago from now. And so there was just so many little things on the horizon. Oh, the helicarrier from Civil War was in there.
In the background.
Yeah. One of those. Guys, it was just literally nonstop. And something that I noticed that I don't know if you guys picked up on, Austin, I don't know if you saw this. Have you seen it once or twice?
Just once.
Okay.
Just the one time.
On the scene when Cassandra Nova Xavier, whatever her name is, when she is telling the duo, Wolverine and Deadpool, that, oh, I met a wizard and he left this thing. When she goes and picks it up, you can see a corner of Doctor Strange's red cape on her desk. Did you see that?
Saw that, man. I thought maybe he was going to show up at a point because I saw that. But yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So some variant of Strange made it to the Void. And I don't know if that's a tie-in with Marvel's What If, because, Doctor Strange had a few little episodes in there as well. For me, though, I think, let's see, Tony Stark's hot rod. Oh, we need to talk about this. I think John Poffenbarger or Jeremy Stoltz brought this up. The Liefeld's only feet.
The feet.
Only
the feet. It's so brilliant. It's so
He
smart.
actually, no joke, Rob Liefeld actually went on Instagram and said, I am totally down with this. I laughed. It was funny. I get it. And he gave Reynolds his blessing, like, okay, you can do it. Go ahead. And That was really funny, though, because if you don't know the history, Rob Liefeld had a little problem drawing feet very early in his career. Yeah. But
he was also Liefeld was in Hall H, Joe, when they did the screening for all the fans. He was actually at that screening. So just imagine your baby is on screen with Wolverine, and 8,000 people are in attendance. And first of all, I want to imagine what that theater was like, because Reynolds and Jackman were all in that theater. I wish there were cameras on them. But just thinking about what Rob Liefeld was feeling in that moment, man, that is existential.
I couldn't imagine,
if
dude.
you will.
I couldn't imagine. I have the first and second appearance of Wolverine in X-Force.
Oh, nice.
And
nice.
And it's pretty cool, dude. To go back, I read that comic many times. Never did you think that this one red ninja-looking guy that kind of looks like Spider-Man but has a lot of pockets, because Rob Liefeld liked to draw pockets for some reason.
He did.
It's just so wild, because I was reading those comics when I was 7th, 8th grade in elementary school, and now the term Deadpool is literally a freaking franchise, even outside the MCU. It's just. These are things that I read as a kid that I could not foresee in the future, and it's just amazing that as a 44-year-old man, I get to see all these things come to fruition, and now we get to see things like, Robert Downey Jr. come back and be Doctor Doom. Not only was he Doctor Doom, but he was Iron Man as well, and it's just, it's a great time to be a nerd. I think that the MCU, getting off the topic of Deadpool and Wolverine, I think that the MCU... I think Kevin Feige realized that they were pushing out quantity over quality. And quantity is sometimes not necessarily good. We know that, Ant-Man 3 was failed from the start because of restrained budget and rushed script and all of that stuff. And it's just not good. And I think that Kevin Feige, he announced, I believe it was the beginning of this year or the end of last year, he said that they're going to be releasing less Marvel movies to make the Marvel movies more satisfying and in quality. The stories need to be in depth. And I think that we're seeing that with Deadpool and Wolverine. That's kind of the beginning phase of that. You're going to see more of this with Brave New World when this comes out in February. And I think, I don't know, man, Brave New World kind of gives me a little bit of a Winter Soldier kind of vibe. Are you kind of feeling that a little bit? Like there's something going on underneath that you don't really know what's happening yet.
I absolutely am. That it feels, just from what I've seen, very grounded. People were complaining about the CGI. Guys, the movie's 8 months away. Chill. We got plenty of time. Just the same thing when they were complaining about the color grading in the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer 6 months ago. I'm like, guys, they were working on the movie during that time. But boy, oh boy, does it feel like the Winter Soldier. And if we get that grounded element, and if we finally sell, because I still think people are holding on to Chris Evans, if we finally sell the world on Anthony Mackie as Cap, and we go into Doomsday with that mentality, I think the emotional toll of Brave New World is going to be sky high. Oh, and Joe, hey, did you know the Red Hulk's going to be in that movie? How are you feeling, buddy?
There was a little bit, I think I soiled myself a couple of times, and the fact that one of my favorite Hollywood actors, he's kind of a grumpy old man, but Harrison Ford is Harrison frickin' Ford. He is the fugitive and Indiana Jones all wrapped up into one. My God, dude, I think the casting is on point. I'm excited. I hope that he comes back to reprise his role as General Thunderbolt Ross. We need that. Hopefully there's a stipulation in there he's going to do like 3 or 4 movies. That would be great. But I think I haven't really been excited the past couple of years for Marvel movies.
Me too.
We've kind of gotten some duds, bro. Carnage, Venom Carnage was kind of eh. Madam Web was like Quantumania smells like a Taco Bell restroom.
And it's pointless now.
So
that movie means nothing now because of Kang. Nothing.
Yeah, Quantumania, they kind of left. I think they did Paul Rudd dirty on that. Honestly,
me too. I will tell you though, Joe. I'll tell you, I liked Guardians 3, but I think part of the reason why I liked Guardians 3 is because it felt so far removed from the rest of the crap they had going on. So that was what was going in its favor there. And then obviously what's been keeping Marvel afloat, the Spider-Verse movies. That's been keeping Marvel afloat as of late. And that is multiverse.
It's definitely
101.
not being the Disney Plus. I mean,
No.
Moon Knight
no.
was hit or miss. You you gotta love to
good
hate
at
it.
times.
I mean, no disrespect to Oscar Isaac's interpret. I think he did awesome as Moon Knight.
He's amazing.
We need more of that.
Secret Invasion.
Yeah,
Secret Invasion.
we need
sucked.
more of that.
Sucked.
Loki season 2 was great, but some of the series
Yes.
and some of the shows were not. I mean, it's just like, okay, what are we doing here? Echo was kind of like,
Forget about it.
I don't know what we're doing here. It just seems weird. Like I think they were in that whole vein of like, let's push out content and not really do like, let's not grade what we're putting out. Let's just put it out, and that's where they fell short. And I think that's where DC's going to kind of come in and start with James Gunn, build a universe that's going to blow us away. I think with Superman coming up next year, we're going to see some stuff that's going to make our jaws drop because James Gunn's leading that camp. And did you see the new logo for DC, by the way? They went back
love
to
it,
their
man.
vintage
Minimalist.
70s, dude. It's so good.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So let's see. Is there anything of this movie that we haven't discussed? We've got we know the villain. My only gripe about this movie would be I need some more backstory in the villain. How did Xavier's unborn twin end up in the void? Who cared for her? What is that back? I know the backstory in the comics. The backstory in the comics is that she was separated from Charles Xavier's psyche, and she lived in Magneto's psyche for a while. And then when she got her strength, she came out of Magneto's psyche and formed her own. There's this whole backstory with basically her roots. So Cassandra Nova is kind of considered the spirit of the X-Men universe. She ended up being born as Professor Charles Xavier's sister, and this was due to the genetic potential of Charles. His Mumandry, as we shall call it, was able to create a physical form, effectively a twin. Now, there's a storyline with this. So, while gestating in her mother, Sharon Xavier's womb, Cassandra was recognized by Charles as an evil presence. And so she preemptively tried to kill her with his psychic abilities, but Cassandra was barely able to defend herself. And basically, she was almost considered a form of stillborn, but her consciousness escaped Charles Xavier and lived in Magneto's mind for a while. There is a serious, crazy story. They could have had 5 minutes just to give us a little something. Maybe a flashback. Maybe we can have Patrick Stewart come back, have a flashback of Patrick Stewart as a child. He's having some kind of psychotic break. His mind is forming a sense of duality. Cassandra Nova is born. And literally, just a quick explanation of the villain's backstory would have given me a little more context. That's my only gripe with this film. That's it. I think the acting of you and Ryan was great. The one-liners, the jokes, every freaking one of them hit. There was no duds. The cameos were insane. The build-up was great. The finale, the fight scenes between Deadpool and Wolverine, insane. Well choreographed. The cinematography was absolutely freaking beautiful. The costumes, the fan service, but it's just the villain. That's the only thing I have a problem with. What about you, Austin?
Yeah, I would say I definitely lost interest with the villain towards the end as
Same.
well. I was much more focused on what Deadpool and Wolverine were trying to do rather than what she was doing, because the whole world destroyer, that's a major threat. She's about to destroy the entire timeline, essentially what Kang was doing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really feel that big of a threat. I'm more interested to see what Deadpool and Wolverine are, their journey on how they're getting to that point. And it was also that entire machine, the MacGuffin. I mean, they call it a MacGuffin in the movie. That machine was definitely just there for the sake of the plot. And so I do wish there was more of a clear motive for our characters rather than just a very cliche, oh, time-ending machine. You know, it's kind of cheesy. But again, the focus being on Wolverine and Deadpool for 90% of the movie, that's where it's at. And, you know, Joe, I thought for sure this movie would give us some fights between the two characters. I didn't think it would give us 4 or 5.
They hated each other right up until the end.
They did not like each other. And knowing that they can't die, they just keep going at each other the whole time, stabbing, killing. But, dude, that created some of the most iconic MCU fights we've ever had. Bloody, gory, basically everything we've ever asked for from both of the characters going up against each other. And so I just think Sean Levy and all the writers and everyone, they knew that this movie had to deliver. Oh, and Rhett Reese, who liked a couple of my tweets the other day, who wrote the movie.
Hello.
Shout out to Rhett Reese, if you're watching.
Hey.
But I was impressed that they kept the focus intact with what the fans wanted to see. They knew what the fans wanted to see, and so my issues with the story being a little overcrowded, my issues with the motivations at the end, and like you said, I would have loved to have known more about the villain. That all kind of goes by the wayside with the experience and what the focus was, and the fact Austin hasn't seen a great comedy in a while. This is the best comedy I've seen in 4 years.
I laughed a lot, bro. And it was
I laughed so much.
And it was a Marvel movie. I mean,
yes.
Wow. And that just goes to show you the testament that Deadpool, I think Deadpool 3 single-handedly has saved the MCU. I'm going to say that. I mean, I know that Kevin Feige has a plan, and there's a lot of great things coming down the pipeline starting in February with the MCU. But I think this film in particular has reignited. I think you said something in your stream about twisters. I was watching. I kind of lurk on your stuff because, you know, I'm your cousin. I do that. But you had said something on the review of Twisters is that, you know, Twisters had blew up the box office on preview night, and that the American people in the domestic box office are ready for a summer blockbuster movie. Remember when you said that?
Yep.
Deadpool was primed and ready from the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that. Deadpool was primed and ready from the beginning. And I think that it really, especially these, what was it, 100 million? What was the number on Thursday? It was like some kind of crazy, 38 million?
Yeah, Thursday was 38. The Friday total was, I believe, almost 100.
It was insane.
With the Thursday included.
And we're talking like right up there with like some of the craziest, like Avatar and you're
No Way Home, bro. This was No Way Home numbers.
Yeah. You're getting into that vein, and that's for a side beeline character like Deadpool.
R-rated.
R-rated. Come on, bro. I mean, has there been an R-rated movie bringing this much in the box office?
This is the highest R-rated opening weekend worldwide and domestic of all time, and it's almost about to pass the first Deadpool in totality. That's how big this is.
That's insane, bro. That's insane. Jeez Louise. Well, guys, I mean, we've pretty much, we've spent an hour and a half almost, or an hour and 20 minutes into the show. I mean, there is so much of this movie. I'm personally, I'm going to go probably see it a third time because my wife is really wanting to see it. So I'm going to get another opportunity to really enjoy it. And this time not really to look at so much for all the little Easter eggs, because I did that on the second viewing. I just want to go and enjoy it as a movie, because this is Hugh Jackman's swan song, I feel. I believe that he's done so much, he's come so far, and hopefully this is not the last time we see Hugh put on that beautiful suit of the red, of the yellow and blue. What was my favorite cameo, Bradley Pooper? It was definitely Calverine, Henry Cavill as Wolverine, I think. I mean, because I was a huge proponent of Henry Cavill being Superman. And so, you know, when everything got switched up with the James Gunn introduction, kind of like, that kind of sucks. But if there was a number 2, it would definitely be Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes. And number 3 might be Chris Evans as Human Torch, Johnny Storm, and then Blade, then Gambit as Channing Tatum. I mean, there's just one right after another. So the John Byrne brown suit Wolverine was really cool to see. It was cool to see, Jeremy. Yes. And I needed more Hulk. I needed some more in that scene, but they just teased us just enough, you know.
Well, Joe, do you think they were teasing us for a reason with that? Do you think we're going to get something with Wolverine and Hulk down the line?
Yeah, if they need to do it soon because you's not getting any younger.
I think they might.
I would be down to see a one-off Hulk versus Wolverine movie.
Oh,
I mean,
oh my God.
just in that, just alone. You don't have to connect it to anything crazy.
Yep.
Just set up the storyline between Banner and Logan and let it go. And
wow,
that's it. Maybe have a cameo or two there. I mean, maybe Wendigo comes out because he was in that story arc at that time. Just something like that would be good, for sure.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too.
We're going to wrap this up, guys. But Austin, any closing? Is there anything I missed? We've talked about cameos. We've talked about Easter eggs. We've talked about our favorite parts, our parts that could use a little tweaking, or I think if I was going to score this, let's do that right quick because I know you've already shared your score on your channel. But I immediately out of the theater, I gave this a 90%. Just 9.0 just kind of resonated with me. The only gripe that would have gave it a 10 would have been more backstory on Cassandra Nova. If I would have had some more of that origin in the back, I kind of felt would have been more attached to that villain and why she's doing what she's doing. But that's it. 9.0.
Yeah, I was in 86.
Oh,
although,
okay.
Rethinking some things, I'm like, man, I guess I could. We'll see what happens on second watch. We'll see what happens. I could go higher with that, but
has the wife seen it?
She hasn't seen it, man. I want to take her so bad.
You've got an excuse to go see that then. Yeah. Yeah.
If we can get, my plan is to get Josh to watch The Baby one night this week, and then
if I was there, I'd watch Riley.
Bro,
Yeah.
you all would have a great. Then you could show her. Sneak her some comic book movies.
We would draw together. I would bring my art stuff.
Yeah.
We'd just draw. Come on, girl, let's go. Let's get her some markers. Let's
Dude, she's already using crayons and making shapes and things like that. So
she's
she
a
would
Burke,
love that.
bro.
She
What
would
else
love
you
that.
expect, man? Out of the womb, I was drawing on a Wacom tablet. They weren't even invented in 1979.
The daycare that she goes to, they always give us the drawings that she makes, and obviously she's just scribbling because she's a kid. But I'm always like, I always thought that was so sappy. But now that I'm actually getting them, I'm like, this is the sweetest drawing I've ever seen. It's like 2 sticks.
Yeah.
It's so sweet. So it's so wonderful.
But it's her creative mind developing, bro.
Yeah,
that's a great thing.
Yeah.
And I mean,
so cool.
She's got 2 incredibly smart and intelligent parents, and I just can't wait to see how that girl's going to thrive. I know she's going to do great.
Thank you, man.
But getting back to it, I think we've covered all the bases. We gave our score. We're going to try to come back in a couple of weeks. So I would like to schedule one at the end of August for a PopX because I want to make sure I get this new system. This guy right back here, all these boxes. I want to get this guy built and set up. And once this thing's 100%, all the bugs are tweaked out, everything's tested and benchmarked, I want to start scheduling. And so we're going to do some stuff. I definitely want to be back for Venom, and I want to be back for what is that? I'd love to do. Well, I won't be able to do an Alien one, but we're going to be definitely covering some of this stuff coming up in the months ahead. It's a great time to be a nerd, and there's some great stuff coming out. And we just, Cobra Kai season 6 is the first, the third part of it is I went through that all in like one night. Amazing.
Me too.
But
bro, you know what else we got?
What's that?
Agatha and the Penguin back to back this
Penguin.
fall.
Yeah, the Penguin comes out. What is that? November? Is that the Penguin?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And Colin Farrell is back as Penguin, and that's Matt Ryan's universe, right? Matt Reeves.
Matt Reeves, yeah. Yep. It's Matt Reeves' whole big thing, and apparently they're saying the Batman may show up.
Okay. Okay, I'll be down for that. I see what you're cooking. Well, with all that said, guys, it is certainly good to be back. Thank you guys so much for your patience and just, I know we've been gone a while, and you guys, I've gotten a couple emails like, hey, are you guys ever going to do PopX again? And I've been so uncertain about things because I dare I even say a little worried that my machine wouldn't be able to hold it. And I've been sitting here looking at the CPU percentage all night because this is, I'm going to share something I shared with Austin right before I hit the fire up the stream button. This machine that I'm streaming on right now was built in 2013.
Man.
It is a Pentium. It's a 4-core Pentium processor, and it's
gosh.
got the original 32 gigs of RAM. Dude, long story short, I'm shocked this machine is able to send the signal out to you guys, the viewers. I was worried about this because I booted the machine up today and I got a blue screen of death at 11 o'clock this morning. I'm like, oh God, please, just for 1 hour and 20-some minutes, please. We made it.
We did.
We made it. So,
I can't believe we did.
any closing thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine?
The MCU is back. And I wasn't one that was saying, they're back, they're not back. They're back, they're not back. Because it has been inconsistent, right? Guardians was great. Secret Invasion stunk. Loki was great. The Marvels was just boring and forgettable. And it's been so up and down. But even with Guardians being a great movie, Guardians 3, I wasn't sitting here saying I am completely buckled in and back on board. As good as that was, and I really enjoyed it. There's something about what Deadpool and Wolverine was able to do and bring back that magic and what it's doing at the box office and how fans are responding the same weekend as all these big announcements and this fantastic Four footage. I just feel this wave, this rush that I haven't felt
Since Infinity
Avengers
War.
Endgame.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. It's been years. And so if we can capitalize on this and keep this wave moving, we may just be back, Joseph.
I feel it. And I feel not only are we back in terms of in the MCU, DC, there's a lot to talk about there with James Gunn.
So much cooking.
And it is good that we are coming back when we are. And
Yes.
I'm super excited. I'm looking over in the chat right now. John Pofferbar, the Burks live. Missed y'all. Thank you so much. Long live PopX Cast. It's great to see you guys again. Thank you so much, Darth.
Wow.
I'm enjoying this moment. What's next is it's the end of the field. Oh, man. I think Deadpool is going to be number one in the box office for a few weeks to come, honestly. I think as word gets out that it is the kind of movie that it is, people that are cautious about the MCU right now, they're going to go and see it. So, but from all of us here, Austin, you want to go ahead and lead us out, my friend, on 146?
Yeah. Wow.
It's
I
good,
can't believe
man.
we're saying this.
I can't either, man. This is so wild. 2
I
years.
am. Yeah, 2 years. 2 years too
years.
long, and I'm so happy to be back, and I'm so happy you're back, Joe, steering the ship, man. You do a freaking wonderful job as always. And my other podcast that I started, Movie Mode,
Movie mode, yeah.
my intention was to run it and steer it clear like you run this show. And so, it'll never be on that level of what I believe PopX Cast is just pure pop culture madness and such high quality. But this gave me inspiration to start Movie Mode. And so thank you,
Thanks,
Joe.
man.
I mean, it's been awesome. And I'm so happy we're back. I'm so happy we're doing this. But I am Austin Burke at The Burkinator. You guys can search and find me on YouTube. I will tease really quick that I have seen the first 4 episodes of the brand new Amazon show Batman Caped Crusader, starring Hamish Linklater, whomst I met at the Critics' Choice Awards. And so I can't say anything about it, but there's
is
a
this an
potential
animated
thing.
series?
It's an animated from the same exact creators as the 90s Batman the Animated Series. The same creators.
Let's
and
go.
It's a very similar style. Yes, it looks...
Okay.
I can't say anything about it, but there's some really cool things I can't wait to talk about, so I have seen that.
Okay.
I can talk about it this week.
Okay.
But you guys can find me at The Burkinator, Movie Mode, and, of course, on YouTube and Letterboxd. We are part of the newly formed creative group known as the Creative Multiverse. For more great media content, artwork, and more, you guys can find us on Facebook groups and now on Discord, which is how we're actually recording this right
That's
now, Joe,
it, yeah.
at the Creative Multiverse. If you are a creative, produced content, or have a talent, we want to see it, and we would like for you guys to share it with us in the multiverse. And please connect with us on social media. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, and all of the things at PopXcast. Send comments and suggestions to us via email at popxcast@gmail.com. And for future and past shows, many past shows, hopefully many future shows, visit our official website at www.popxcast.com. www.popxcast.com. And I'm feeling good, Joe. I'm so happy to be back, man. This was awesome.
Oh, dude. Huge, deep breath and sigh. Because I've had a little bit of anxiety today coming back. Because I wish you guys could see my monitor and my screen of all the windows that are open to make this show happen the way it does. There's at least, right now, I'm counting 8 windows open just for this stream alone. And so, you know, I'm just so thankful that we're back. And I'm so thankful that, Austin, you agreed to come back. You could have said no. You could have said, no, I've got other things going on. But you didn't. You was like, okay, let's do it. And you actually approached, you know what, when you approached me about, hey, let's do something for Deadpool, it got me thinking. I'm like, there's nothing holding me back in doing episode 146. So, guys in the chat, everyone in the chat, you have Austin Burke to thank for this refound zeal, if you will, to come back and share and be nerdy for a little while. And I am Joseph Burke, at Joseph Burke Arts, all across social media. Hats off to my amazing and wonderful team, PopX. Couldn't do this without any and all of you guys. And that's it for this episode. And like I said, make sure you watch our YouTube channel, like and subscribe. Click the like on this, click the notification bell when we schedule new things. And we're trying our best to reach 500 subscribers. Please, guys, it's a small ask. We're only like 15 or 20 away, I believe. And it just takes a second. Just go over to youtube.com/PopXcast and do that for us, would you? And make sure you hit a like on this video because that helps us in the YouTube algorithm of things. But we will be back in the weeks ahead, I promise. We're not going to go 2 years this time. But once I get this new computer built, we're back in business, baby. So stay tuned to my Instagram for updates on when the machine's built, when we're built, what we're doing, how we're doing it. And that's pretty much it. That's all I got. That's
the show, man.
That's it. That's it.
Wow.
Is there anything else? Am I missing anything?
Are we doing a Chris Evans post-credit scene where I'm going to sit here and start cussing you out? Is that what we're doing?
Do you want to do that?
No.
Okay, because I was thinking, you know,
no.
I you know, there is something that we can do.
What are we doing? Oh yeah. This is so nostalgic. Come on,
guys. I'm just gonna.
Come on.
Hold on, man. Yeah, come on.
Is he back? Yeah. Oh.
Guys, from Joe and Austin Burke, we are Cousin Burke. We will see you next time right here on PopXcast, where science fiction meets pop culture. All right, we'll see you next time. You guys have an amazing night. Stay nerdy. I mean it. Stay nerdy. Yeah.